Good morning to one and all. Welcome back to Maths online class for Sri Gokulam Public School Guruvayur. Today we are going to discuss about how to find domain and range of a function. Watch the video carefully. Hello students. Today we are going to discuss about how to find domain as well as range of given functions. So in this video I included 3 questions to find domain as well as range. See the first one, f of x equal to 2 plus root of x minus 1. Okay. So first we have to find what is its domain. So domain means the values of x. So for what values of x, f of x is defined, or for what values of x we will get output for this x or f of x. So x minus 1 is inside a radical notation, and we know that radical or square root is always greater than or equal to 0. So this expression x minus 1 is always greater than or equal to 0, or it is a positive quantity. So from here, taking this minus 1 to other side, this becomes x is greater than or equal to 1. So we can take or we can consider the values of x either equal to 1 or greater than 1. So what is our domain? So domain is interval 1 infinity closed at 1. So x equal to 1 and more than 1 elements. That is our domain. Now we can find the range. So we are applying the concept of finding range in a different manner. See, in this question we are approaching another way. Let's see. Here the function is 2 plus root of x minus 1, and we know the values of x are 1 and more than 1. So let us take value, x value is equal to 1. That is the least value. So when x equal to 1, f of x becomes, listen, 2 plus root of 1 minus 1. Root of 1 minus 1 is 0. So 2 plus 0 equal to 2. That is, when x equal to 1, function value, f of x value is 2. Now I took next value, x equal to 2. When x equal to 2, what is f of 2? f of 2 equal to 2 plus root of 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Root of 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 equal to 3. Now if you put x equal to 1 point, any number, 1.1 or 1.2, 1 point something, whatever it is, you will get the result is 2 point something. It's okay. So the minimum value of f of 1 will be, what is 2. Then maximum value is infinity, and therefore in this case range of the function is equal to open interval to infinity, or semi-open interval, semi-closed interval to infinity, closed at 2. It's okay. Now see another question. F of x equal to modulus of x minus 3 divided by x minus 3. So it is of the form p by q, rational function form. So what is its domain? Denominator is not equal to 0. If denominator equal to 0, f of x is not defined. There is no value for f of x. So denominator not equal to 0. So when denominator becomes 0? Yes, when x equal to 3, this denominator 3 minus 3 becomes 0. So we can avoid x equal to 3 and choose all other values of x. So from the set of real numbers, we can avoid the number 3. So domain of the function is R minus set 3. Okay. So here we excluded x equal to 3. Now we can consider x greater than 3 and x less than 3. Okay, we can choose the values for x as more than 3 as well as less than 3. Now listen, what will happen when x is greater than 3? Suppose x equal to 4. Let us consider x equal to 4. So what is this f of x? Modulus of 4 minus 3 divided by 4 minus 3. What is the answer? 4 minus 3 is 1. Modulus of 4 minus 3 is mod 1, that is 1. 4 minus 3, 1. 1 by 1 equal to 1. If you put x equal to 5, x equal to 6, you will get the same answer. What is the answer? 6. If you put x equal to 3.1, let's see the answer. F of x is always equal to 1. That is, if we take any value greater than 3, f of x is always positive 1. Okay. Now, when x is less than 3, suppose x equal to 2. Let us take x equal to 2. Now, what is this f of x value? X minus 3, that is 2 minus 3, modulus of 2 minus 3 by 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3 is minus 1, modulus of minus 1 is 1 divided by 2 minus 3 is minus 1. So 1 by minus 1, 1 by minus 1 is minus 1. Okay, if you take x equal to 1 or x equal to negative 2, whatever it is, you can see the value is always equal to minus 1. That is, for all values of x less than 3, the function value is negative 1. Okay. So, for all positive values greater than 3 and all negative values less than 3, function value remains same, 1 and minus 1, and therefore range of this function equal to minus 1, 1. Is clear? Now see third question. F of x equal to x square by 1 plus x square. We explained the same problem in another method. That is, let us take y equal to x square by 1 plus x square, and we cross multiplied y and 1 plus x square and convert the given expression in terms of x square. Okay, x square, and we noted x square is a square function. Square function is always greater than or equal to 0, and therefore the expression in y terms is always greater than or equal to 0. In that case, we seen that range of the function is semi-open interval 0, 1. Close it at 0 and open at 1. So, the same problem can be done in another way. Let's see. Here the function is x square by 1 plus x square. Here x square is a square function. Here also. So, both numerator and denominator are positive quantity. As a result, the total expression x square by 1 plus x square is always a positive quantity. Okay, it never be negative. So, we can say f of x is always greater than or equal to 0. F of x is always a positive quantity. Now, let's consider the values for x square. If x square equal to 2, then what is f of x? When x square equal to 2, what will happen? F of x equal to 2 by 1 plus 2. 2 by 1 plus 2 equal to 2 by 3. And value of 2 by 3 is 0.666 etc. So, definitely it is less than 1. If we take x square equal to 4, the value of f of x equal to 4 by 1 plus 4. It is also 4 by 5. 4 by 5 means it is 0.8. It is less than 1. So, whatever value we accept for, we take for x square, you can see that the value of f of x is always less than 1. You can go through the values and verify whether the value of f of x is less than 1, strictly less than 1 or not. So, the maximum value of f of x is 1 and the minimum value of f of x is 0. So, we can take or consider or include the values of f of x in between 0 and 1, including 0 and excluding 1, and therefore range of the given function is equal to semi-open or semi-closed interval 0, 1, closed at 0 and open at 1. Let's see. Okay, so in both manner you can find the range. That's why I told to find range of any given function is too difficulty one. So you can opt either method, either this one or this method. In this method, we have to go through or search for each and every point whether the function is defined or not for the values. In this case, it is little bit tough. At the same time, we can easily find the range set. Okay, it's up to you. You can opt any of the method. Anyway, these are the methods to find range of a function. In the YouTube video, I gave some more examples. Watch the video carefully and understand and learn how to find domain and range of a function. Okay. Dear students, in this chapter, relations and functions, we studied what is a relation, what is a function, how to find domain and range of a relation, how to represent this relation in roster form, set builder form, and using arrow diagrams, etc. And also we learnt what is a function and how to find its domain and range. Okay, so this topic, I mean domain and range of a function, problems are too important, so study it well. And also we discussed some graphs, I mean some functions and their graphs, especially constant function, identity function, signum function, modulus function, as well as greatest integer function. All these functions and their graphs are very important. Okay, then in this session I attached a assignment for you. Nearly 10 questions are there. You have to answer these assignment problems and submit it within 1 week. Okay, anyway, that's about our chapter relations and functions. Next class onwards we will start a new lesson, namely trigonometric functions. Okay, then bye. Take care, study well. Thank you all.